Please subscribe and turn notifications on.
Our blue and gold macaw. So he's pretty impressive, obviously. He's got his lovely blue and yellow coloration all over his feathers. And like I was saying with Merlin, they have to keep their feathers looking their best. So what they can do with their feathers, they're actually able to preen them. So they will go through a molt. So some of them are going through their molt at the moment. They look a little bit scruffy. A couple of their feathers are a little bit ruffled at the edges. And that's just because they go through their molt. So it can take quite a long time. They can sort of do it throughout the year. So they can push out all of their older feathers to allow their lovely brand new growth of each new feather to, of course, make their way through. When they have their brand new shiny feathers, they can keep on top of their feathers by simply preening them. So they can use their big impressive beak to get all the from any dirt out or any food that may have been caught in their feathers as well. Or, of course, they will simply use this oil gland within their back that they're actually able to rub their beak into and then in turn rub all over their feathers as well. So you can see we've just been joined as well by Peppy. He's a bit bigger, so he's a greater self-crested cockatoo. And he, of course, is a bit cheeky. You can see he's been a bit sassy with us now. But that's absolutely fine. Each of our parrots have their own little personalities, their own little characteristics. And that's what makes them so fun and also sometimes challenging to work with. So when we give them lots of things to do, we like to keep them nice and entertained. But also we like to try and do lots of different behaviours as well. And we like to use positive reinforcements. That means that when we're asking of them different behaviours, we are, of course, giving them a nice treat after it. So whether we ask them for a wing present, ask their foot present, pretty much anything we ask of them, we can, of course, give them a nice big reward after it. And if they, for example, are learning a new behaviour, so whether that be something brand new with a new toy or a new bit of enrichment, it's really important that they know they're doing a good job, so we can, of course, give them a bigger jackpot reward. So we can, of course, give them maybe their favourite fruits, we can give them bits of peanut, all sorts of different walnuts as well, so we can give them lots and lots of different tasty things to keep them nice and interested in exactly what we're asking of them. So a lot of our training, of course, is really important, so we can ask them to go into crates, so we can pop them simply in a crate, nice and easily, nice and quickly, and it's of course a nice stress-free way of making sure our parrots are healthy. Because if they needed to go to the vet for any reason, any sort of general checkup or anything like that, we can of course ask them to go in this crate really quite calmly, and they don't mind just hanging around sitting in it at all, because of course they're used to doing that either throughout our training sessions, and of course when it does come to the time when we do need to take them to the vet, it's a lot more relaxed environment to where we need to get them in that crate. We can, of course, ask them to be using the target stick as well, and that's actually one of our keepers' favourite tools to use, because we can simply, of course, just move them around different aviaries, really nice and easily, simply just with the movement of that target stick that we've got there, and all they have to do is touch the tip of that and they get a nice tasty treat. So I heard a few oohs and ahs when I brought Wilma out just now. She is, of course, pretty impressive. She's got the biggest beak out of all of our parrots, and she's a green-winged macaw. So like I said, a lot of our parrots can, of course, be found in South America, but pretty worldwide as well. So with Zoe here, you saw the little cockatoo that flew off. She was found in the Sulawesi Islands in Indonesia. Peppy was found throughout Australia. He's a bit of a pest out there, but he was, of course, really, really good today. But of course, mostly they can be found in South America, flying up nice and high in the treetops. And Wilma's our green-winged macaw, and you can see some lovely green feathers all over her bottoms of her wings, which of course is where she gets her lovely name as the green-winged macaw. So I have said, of course, a little bit about their feathers. They're really important to them. But with that, parrots can actually see in the UV spectrum. So each of their partners look even more impressive to each other than, of course, they don't only do to us. So they have to make sure their molting process is really good. And as keepers, we can have a lovely good look as well and make sure their molting process is going really nice and smoothly too. So parrots just aren't, of course, really well adapted to life up in the trees, the sky, sorry, they're also really well adapted to life up in the trees. So you can see here we've popped a couple of our parrots on the rope, and all we ask of them to do is walk up and down it, because they've got really impressive feet which allow them to do this. So they've got what's known as zygodaxial feet, which means they can climb up and down ropes really easily, because they've got these toes that point forwards and they've got two toes that point backwards, which means they've got the ability to climb up and down this rope really nice and quickly as well, or in Wilma's case a little bit slower, but that's absolutely fine. But it's really helpful because food isn't always readily available right in front of you, so sometimes you do have to do a little bit of work for it, with of course those lovely big feet of theirs, and of course this really impressive beak too. So their beaks are actually made out of keratin, And that is actually the same thing that our fingernails and, of course, our hair is made out of. So it's a really, really impressive bit of tool they've got there. So they can use it for all sorts of things, not only holding up their body weight, they can also crack into nuts with it as well. But they can, like I say, hold on to bits of tree with it, bits of rope with it as well. And it just goes to give you how impressive and how powerful their beaks actually are. They don't only just use it for preening or pulling or getting food, they will also use it to crack puzzles. So, wrong way, Wilma, that's okay. But you can see that Wilma's actually pulled up that coconut pot nice and closely to her to make sure she gets all that nice tasty food in the bottom of that coconut pot. And as keepers, it didn't really take too long to be able to perform this behaviour because it's a natural behaviour that they're able to do out there in the wild. So it didn't take too long at all to train up this really nice behaviour. And it's really quite cool because it shows you guys just how strong and how different and how interesting their beaks are. Wilma's, like I say, is really impressive. They've got a biting power on their beak of about a German Shepherd. So you definitely don't want to get on the wrong end of a parrot because they've got a big weapon on their face. And of course they can live up to pretty old age. But a lot of people do, of course, get these guys as pets. You just need to do research before you get them. So generally a lot of parrots will have a ring around their ankle which will actually tell you exactly where they've come from, exactly their date of birth as well, and all the really important information you need to know before, of course, you get one of these really amazing animals.